It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello. I hope you had a great Easter Sunday. I hope you had a great Easter weekend and a great Good Friday. Well, yeah, I guess you kind of figured it out, right? That's me. I'm him. The Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles, or maybe up in Portland where my firstborn, Lauren Shiana Hill Vaughn, a.k.a. Boogie, is with my son-in-law, Jonathan. Happy belated birthday to Jonathan. Had a birthday Saturday. And all my Aries. Now, listen. You know who's got next, don't you? Oh, yeah. Oh, you know who's got next. We got next. Stand up, Tauruses. Yeah, and shout out to my May babies, too. Shout out to my Geminis. But Taurus, we got next. Just in a couple days, as a matter of fact. So stand up. Let's get ready to do this. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell everybody you know and don't know. Everybody that you like, love, can't stand, hate, strangers, aliens, tell them all to subscribe to the Geno Jones channel, like and share and binge watch this and every episode. So let's kick off the show with some good news. Mary J. Blige, Good Morning Gorgeous. Her hit single, I love the song, love the video. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. The album, Good Morning Gorgeous. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gorgeous, and congratulations. Mary J. Blige is going to get the Billboard Icon Award at this year's Billboard Music Awards. It's going to be at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Man, happening on, speaking of Taurus, May 15th, a date before Janet Jackson's birthday, 5 days before mine. Just saying. Show's also going to be live on NBC that Sunday, May 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So congratulations to the queen of hip-hop soul, Miss Mary J. Blige, doing her thing. I am so proud of the sister. So let me say this before I go any further. I want to shout out to everybody that's watching me live right now. I can kind of monitor and see who's watching me live right now. So everybody watching me live, feel free to jump into my chat room. I have a live chat room open. If you got a question, comment, something on your mind, something to get off your chest, whatever it is, feel free, jump right in. So congratulations to Mary J. And speaking of ladies, I know many of you all are fans of Lifetime, the Lifetime channels, the Lifetime movie channels. Speaking of a Lifetime movie, get ready, Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child, and speaking of Destiny's Child, Mama Destiny's Child herself, Tina Knowles Lawson, are going to be in a Lifetime, it's called, they're going to star in this movie on Lifetime. It's like a series. It's Lifetime's Wrath, the 7 Deadly Sins. Actually, it's called, it's Wrath, a 7 Deadly Sins story. So they've done all these stories about the 7 deadly sins, greed and lust and all that. So this one is wrath. That's one of the 7 deadly sins, apparently, accordingly. And Michelle is going to star in it. She's going to star, and she like meets this guy. He's supposed to be Mr. Wonderful, and that goes sideways. And Mama Tina, Miss Tina, Mama Knowles Lawson, she is going to play Michelle's mother in the Lifetime movie. So can't wait to see that. That should be a whole lot of fun. Celebrating birthdays since I was shouting out all of my Aries, Layla Roshan. Now, Layla Roshan is probably most famous for her iconic role in the movie Harlem Nights. She played the character Sunshine. Oh yeah, y'all remember Sunshine. What did the late great Red Fox, rest in peace, power in paradise, rest in heaven? What did Red Fox say? Girl had the you know what? It was so good, if you threw it up in the air, it would turn into sunshine. I said, well, damn, I'm going to avoid that at all costs. So Layla Roshan she was also in Waiting to Exhale. She's been in a lot of movies. She was in this commercial. She was like the Spuds Kinsey. I don't even know what was that commercial for, but I just remember this little dog. They called him Spuds McKenzie. Yeah, not Kinsey, Spuds McKenzie. Anyway, Layla Roshan is 58. So happy birthday, Miss Layla. She actually turned 58 yesterday. So we had a lot of birthdays on Sunday. And since I wasn't here on Sunday, I thought I'd do them today. Reality show star Tammy Roman, formerly married to an NBA star. He's no longer playing. Kenny Anderson, I believe, right? So Tammy Roman, she's a comedian now. So shout out to Tammy. Do your thing, my sister. Tammy Roman is 52, also celebrating a birthday. He is 52 today. My man, Redman, Reggie Noble, a.k.a. Redman. Redman is 52. Kimberly Elise. Now, Kimberly Elise, to me, is one of the most underrated actors of our time, or actresses. She was in, I first saw her in Get Off. You know, you had Queen Latifah and Vivica A. Fox. I think Jada was in that one too, right? Kimberly Elise was in Set It Off. That was a movie where they robbed a bank. Tragic ending if you haven't seen it. Great movie. So she was in Set It Off. She was in Beloved. She was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She was in Tyler Perry's movie. Then she was in Reverend T.D. Jakes' Woman, Thou Art Loosed. So Kimberly Elise is 55 today. I got some folks jumped in. Hello, everybody watching me live. So let me get into this. Relatively short show today, but the story is, I talked about it, and it's so disturbing, but we gotta keep putting pressure on these mayors, governors, senators, Congress people, and even President Biden. But they wanted the Democratic senators and the Democratic members in the House, the George Floyd bill would be passed. George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. So what I want to do, and had that act been passed, I can't guarantee you that what happened in Grand Rapids, Michigan, this execution of a young black man, 26-year-old black man, young man, could have been my son. They were immigrants from the Congo. Young man named Patrick Lyoya. So I finally learned how to correctly pronounce it because I kind of butchered it Thursday, but everybody was messing it up. But apparently his last name, like I said, he's from the Congo. He and his family, Lyoya. Patrick Lyoya. So apparently he was driving down the street. A Grand Rapids police officer was coming in the opposite direction. He wasn't speeding now. The young man, Patrick Lyoya, was not speeding. He wasn't pulled over for speeding. Then the cop, all of a sudden, turned around, followed him. Initially, allegedly pulled him over because of some issue with his registration. Now, I don't know how he saw the registration. I guess once he turned around, and I guess his instincts told him, oh, maybe this guy's registration is not up to date. His spider sense told him that. So after he drove past him going in opposite directions, couldn't see the back of his license plate, so he couldn't see any kind of sticker or lack thereof, but he turned around, and the initial stop was supposedly about this traffic infraction, violation, registration issue, something to that effect. So Patrick Lyoya ran, panicked. Now keep in mind, this young man wasn't born in America. He and his family, they've immigrated to America. As a matter of fact, his mom said that they left the Congo because of a civil war. And they moved here because they thought that their son, Patrick, her only son, would be safer in America than in their native country on the continent of Africa in the Congo because of an active, brutal, and violent civil war. And then what happens? Gets pulled over by a Grand Rapids police officer, who as soon as I get dude's name, I will put his name out there. So Patrick Lyoya runs from the guy. Patrick Lyoya, unarmed, No warrant out for the man's arrest. The cop basically, because Patrick Lyoya gets out the car. And I don't want to listen. Stop. Well, he shouldn't have got out of the car. Yeah. Shouldn't have got out of the car. Shouldn't have ran. But that was no reason to execute this man. All right? He gets out the car. And the officer's like, so they're talking, verbally talking, almost like, I won't say a confrontation. Because keep in mind, like I said, Patrick spoke English, but not the best English. So it could have been a issue in terms of language, translation. I digress. So eventually, Patrick fears for his life. And I guess his instincts were right. Unfortunately, it didn't help save his life. So Patrick breaks out and he runs, leaves his car. So his car is there. So the police officer, who's being super cop, first of all, no backup, but it's like, dude, got his car right there. Got his car, got his license plates. Where's he going? You can find him. He ain't going too far. If he does, he's going to need his car. You can find out where he lives, got his plates, get all this information off his plates. So anyway, Patrick Lyoya runs. The cop chases him, eventually catches up with him, wrestles with him, because apparently this cop fired his taser twice, and he missed Patrick Lyoya, so he couldn't use his taser anymore. Because at a time, Patrick Lyoya had his hand on the taser. This was after it was fired twice. So after 2 times, the taser is rendered useless. So can't get any more use out of that. Patrick runs. The cop runs behind him. The cop eventually catches him, throws him down on the ground, gets on top of his back. He's on top of him. He's got Patrick Lyoya pinned face down in the ground with his knees on top of Patrick Lyoya's back. He pulls out his gun, the cop does. I use that term loosely. Pulls out his gun and he shoots Patrick Lyoya, an unarmed black man who you stopped because of a alleged traffic violation or something to do with his registration, who was unarmed. Well, how was he a threat to you when you were on top of him, on top of his back? He's face down on the ground, and you pull out a gun and you shoot him in the back of his head. I've heard Russian soldiers, and I've seen video, the dead bodies. According to the Ukrainians, Russian soldiers have been executing Ukrainian men and women, young people, by shooting many of them in the back of the head. That's inhumane. So you have police officers, you got cops in America that are behaving like Russian soldiers. What human does that? What human would fire a gun and shoot someone in the back of their head? What lack of humanity, compassion, and empathy. What did this man do to you besides run from you that caused you, after you had complete leverage over and on him, you had him pinned to the ground, face down, and you have all your body weight on top of him, and you pull out a gun, and you execute him, and you shoot him. And the reports are, you fired 3 shots into the back of his head. You literally blew his brains out. What human does that? And is this what police officers are being taught when they're in training? Is this what they teach you in the police academy? Now, I know it's not, because I have worked with 3 police departments on a regular basis, still do, here in the Charleston metro area. I've done it for 17 years, all right? I have and had great relationships with multiple police chiefs. And one is, I think, is the best police chief in America. I'm biased. Chief Reggie Burgess of the North Charleston Police Department. Mayor Lori Lightfoot, that's the dude you need to call. No disrespect to the brother you got that's police chief, but Chief Reggie Burgess is really who you need to call. As a matter of fact, I think, I don't know what the president could do. I think they need to hire Chief Reggie Burgess as a consultant and have him go to every major city in America and show police chiefs and police departments how you do this thing. Now, North Charleston Police Department is not perfect. No department is, because you can't control each and every officer. And I know some of you all may say, well, the police chief in Grand Rapids, he can't control what this officer does. But you know what a police chief can do? He can set a tone. He can set a climate. He can create a climate of what is and is not tolerated. That he can do. And when you got police officers shooting unarmed black men, young men in the back of the head who haven't fired a weapon at you, you are in no imminent danger. Your life was nowhere in imminent danger. Your life wasn't in any danger. You had complete leverage of this man who you had pinned face down on the ground, and you've got his body pinned down because you've got your body weight and your knees on top of him with his face down in the ground. And you pulled out your gun and you shot him in the back of the head like some mafia thug would do, or some war criminal, Russian soldier, some inhumane animal. Animals don't treat other animals like that in the wild. What is wrong? What are they teaching? What are they not teaching? What are they really teaching? Police in the police academies, what kind of culture do we have in police departments in America that would somehow make a police officer thinking that you could literally execute? It's like a modern day lynching. A man who you got subdued, face down on the ground, and you're on top of him with his face in the ground, and you've got him subdued, and you so scary or evil or sadistic or criminal that you don't bother to handcuff him, that you shoot him in the back of the head. You were too cowardly to even look the man in his face. You shot him in the back of the head. Is this what they are teaching people in the police academy? This is why you must vote. And I'm going to beat this drum. I'm going to beat this drum like Sheila E. beats drums. And anybody that's seen Sheila E. play some drums, that sister could play some mean. You talking about she can beat some drums. And I'm going to beat this drum like I'm Sheila E. in Prince's band. This is why we have to vote in every election, starting in your local elections. I'm going to need some of you all to run for mayor. I'm going to need some of you all to run for aldermen, alderwomen, council people. I'm going to need some of you all to run to be state legislators, state representatives, state senators. We've got some great candidates. We have 7 African Americans, including State Representative Crystal Matthews, right here in the state of South Carolina, who's running to beat Tim Scott. The primary is June 14th. We have State Senator Mia McLeod, Representative Matthews, like I said, a state representative. We have State Senator Mia McLeod that's running to be our first black woman governor in the state of South Carolina. People say, oh, you know, it's South Carolina, it's all these white folks, it's a red state, it's racist. It can't happen. Well, it can't happen until it does. Who thought they said that a light-skinned brother, you know, with a haircut a little closer than mine, with an unusual Muslim, or as they say, Muslim name, Barack Hussein Obama, who had been living on the south side of Chicago, had the audacity, like a book title he wrote, Audacity of Hope, had this black man, or some of the racists would like to call him, an uppity Negro, or worse, just straight out, just an uppity N-word. What made him think that he could not just run for president, but win, and win twice? So it can't be done until it is done. So that means it's possible. Anything is possible if you're willing to bet on yourself and put in the work. And if you believe in yourself, and if enough people will believe on you and bet on you, it happened before, it can happen again. And it can happen here and all over the country. But this is why it is so important to vote. So you can get the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act signed by President Biden and sign it into law, so we can get rid of what they call qualified immunity, which means if an officer, and I use that term loosely, like this police officer that executed the unarmed 26-year-old young black man, Patrick Lyoya, shot him in the back of the head. If it would make it easier to get a criminal conviction in a federal court and to get rid of qualified immunity, means even if you couldn't get a criminal conviction, you could sue. You could sue and go after everything that police officer owns, including his police pension. If he owns property, investment portfolios, any assets, any wealth he has, you can go after all of it. Clean his ass out. Because I'm going to say it again, and I've been saying it for a year and a half on this show. If I can't appeal to your sense of humanity, and obviously, you can't have humanity. You can't see a black body as human and then shoot that unarmed black body that's lying face down on the ground that you have complete physical control over and leverage, who you are basically sitting on top of. And you can't see that person as human and then pull out a gun and shoot him in the back of the head, execute him. That means you don't see him as human. So if I can't get you to see my humanity, I can't appeal to your humanity, your sense of morality, compassion, empathy, and decency. I can get your attention because I can go digging in your pockets. And I know I will get your attention if I get to digging in them pockets. You can be the most racist cop on the planet. You can have Confederate flag and a Ku Klux Klan suit under your uniform and Confederate flag tags all over your body. But if you know that if you pull this stunt and it's on tape, and fortunately the passenger did videotape this, if you know that you stand to lose every penny you ever made, including your pension, you might think second. You might be a little less brutal. You might do some things, but you might not pull out that gun so quick to execute an unarmed black man and shoot him in the back of the head, knowing that could cost you your pension, it could cost you your house, it could cost you all the money you've saved up in your retirement plan and whatever investment portfolio. It could cost you everything you got. So you might not be so quick to pull that trigger. And if that's what it takes, then good. But to make that happen, you and everybody that you know, and even that you don't know, anybody that sees and saw what happened, if you think what happened to Patrick Lyoya is inhumane, is inhuman, and that we really need to make a change, that we have to change the culture in policing in America, that alone is reason enough for you to vote. Not to mention that you've got all these states that basically are criminalizing a woman for terminating a pregnancy, a woman determining to determine whether or not she wants to have an abortion for whatever reason. It's her body. And now you want to criminalize this. There was a woman in Texas about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, had an abortion performed. They actually locked her up. They put her in jail. Now, they eventually let her out because they knew that wasn't a good look. Ladies, including the 53% of white women who voted for Orange Hitler and who votes for all these Republican governors and Republican House and state members, House of Representatives, state representatives, state senators that are talk about, they claim to be, pro-life. They believe in the sanctity of life. If you are so damn pro-life, then I need to see your ass on television talking about how inhumane it was. It was an act of inhumanity. Animals don't perform that way. So you should be as outraged or even more outraged than me. I need to see you in front of some cameras talking about the police officer that executed that unarmed 26-year-old black man needs to be held accountable. I need to see your ass in front of a camera with the family. But no, I ain't seen none of you pro-lifers, none of you right-wing MAGA racists, radical right-wing MAGA crowds that so we believe in the sanctity of life. No, you just want to control women's body, to tell them what they can do with their body. And you freaked out because for the first time ever, since we've been taking the sentence, the only major demographic group where there was a population decline was among white people. So oh my God, they're not having enough white babies. But why are you worried about black women and other women of color? You want them to have more babies so you can build more prisons, so you can execute more unarmed black men and women? Is that why? Because you don't give a damn about life. And I just proved it to you. Because if you really gave a damn about life and you saw a video when an unarmed black man who was lying face down and with a cop on top of him, and the cop pulls the gun out, shoots him in the back of the head, if you were really pro-life, you would be outraged. But I haven't heard a peep from none of you all. So miss me with your racist con game and your racist, what's the term the kids use? Gaslight. Just Google, look up the word gaslight. It's like really when people project, they get hype and accuse you of doing something that they're doing. It's like a form of projection. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. Shout out, hello, my number one producer. My number one fan and my executive producer, my mom, Mary Dixon. See her in the chat room. Yes, we got to vote, guys. Thank you, Mother. Yes. And I'm going to beat this Trump every day that I'm on camera. It is a midterm election year. Every day, I'm going to have a message about why we need to vote. I just gave you a great example. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel right here on YouTube. Tell everybody you know and don't know, everybody that you like, love, can't stand, hate, strangers, aliens. Tell them all to subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Oh, go back. They say subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch this and every episode. And copy the link, email it to folks, tag all their social media page, put the link in their DM, send it everywhere. Or as Nelly would say, everywhere. All right, do that. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check out his work. Well, you see his work on me, my cut, but check him out. Check out his work on Instagram. KLB Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. That's KELBECUTTINUP, KLB Cutting Up. Allie Jones, the official stylist and wardrobe consultant, along with Bruce Gage for the Geno Jones Show. Allie Jones is on Instagram. Check out her collection, her fashion, her drip. Her collection is on. It's at LEXXIE, Lexi with 2 X's, LEXXIE_, that's that line below. Lexi, 2 X's _ Nicole _ line below, designs. Bruce Gage is on Instagram, Miglio, D, Mario Uomo, MIGILIO, DIMARIO, UOMO, it's Italian name. MIGILIO, DIMARIO, like Mario, UOMO is Uomo, Mario Uomo, it's Italian, but spelled like you. All right, everybody. I love each and every one of you. I really do. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be tomorrow, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for watching. Remember, register. Check your voting status. Check your registration, just in case folks are playing games. You may have been like, they may have kicked you off the voting rolls. They do that. I can't think of the term. It escapes me. But they'll just randomly kick you off the voting rolls. All right, literally purging voters. So make sure that your registration is up to date and current, and make sure that you and everybody that you know and don't know, make sure that your registration status is current, up to date. Make sure you vote in the primaries coming up, like starting next month, because your primaries are going to start next month. They actually some started already, but they really kick in May and June. And make sure you and everybody you know and don't know, get them out to vote, because literally your future, your children's future, and your life depends on it. Okay? Hope you had a happy Easter. Until tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Go back if you missed some of this show, go back and watch it, and then go back and binge watch all my other episodes. As always, be blessed. Please, let's pray for please. Please pray for peace. It was a rough weekend. Unfortunately, Easter weekend. Pray for peace here and all over the world. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.